All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I am chatting with my friend Kayla Jo, who's if I remember correctly, you're quite fairly out of the God belief, like recently.
I am. Yes, this last year it completely fell away in January, very unexpectedly.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into that. Take us back, I guess, to earlier in the year when you had that sort of like an epiphany, an atheistic epiphany, we'll say, where you kind of figured out that it was like nonsense, and then what led you on your journey through that, like the ups, the downs, and the reason you decided you wanted to speak out a little bit about it. So,
okay. Sure. Well, I was going to counseling because I had been struggling with depression and suicidal ideation for like 2 years. And so a year ago this month, I was seeing a new therapist, and I asked him, I was like, why would God not take my depression away if I begged him to? You need to go out, please. I'm sorry, my daughter's interrupting. Go see daddy. Close the door. Now, I have 6 children.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm trying to keep them all out that way. Sorry about that. So anyway, I asked him, I was like, why would God let me struggle like this? If he really cared, why wouldn't he take the depression? Why would I have these constant suicidal thoughts where I didn't want to act on them? I did, but I didn't. I wasn't going to, but I just wanted to not exist anymore. Like I was just so heavy. I felt like I was carrying around a weighted blanket all the time. So I was seeing a therapist that I knew was a believer, because that was all that's safe when you're a Christian. You know, psychology is dangerous and you're not supposed to get into that stuff. And when I asked him that, he let me question. And I was like, whoa, no, you can't let me question. He's like, well, what if, you know, there is other ways to God? And because my biggest question is, how is my spiritual beliefs and my spirituality any better than somebody else who has a spiritual experience, like a Hindu or a Buddhist, or, you know, how they have genuine experiences just like me.
Reasonable question too.
Right. And so he's like, well, you know, who's to say that you're right and they're wrong? And I was like, oh my goodness. So I shut that conversation.
Wait a second. This was your therapist who was a believer, I'm assuming one of the Christian denominations.
Yes.
That said that to you?
Yeah, he is. He had gone through his own little, I guess you'd call it a deconstruction. And he still considers himself a Christian, but he also, as a therapist, you know, you're not supposed to put your values on other people. And so his job is to give me freedom to figure it out on my own. And so that was really strong and really big of him to actually do that, especially when I emailed him angry. I was like, I need you to help me keep this faith. You know, that is why I'm seeing you.
This is your job, damn it.
Right, exactly. Except for I wasn't saying damn it yet.
Right.
I'm just playing. But yeah, and so, you know, fast forward to maybe November, I started, you know, questioning it a little bit with him again. And I started reading books like Rob Bell and Peter Enns and just trying to hold on to the faith a little bit looser. But even doing that, I was being considered a heretic because they were being called heretics. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm being called a heretic for this and I'm trying so hard to hold on, why should I hold on to anything? You know, if I'm going to be bashed no matter what, what's the point? But I didn't want to lose my Christianity. So I kept searching. And then January, I woke up one day and I was like, oh my goodness, God is gone. And there was like this huge hole in my heart. Like it was the most empty feeling I had ever felt, because I was a Christian. Like I had been in church since I was born, and I was 37, almost 38. And so when this all disappeared, like that was my entire identity. That was who I was. Like I was a Christian school teacher at one time. I played in the worship band at church. I worked at church camps in the summer. I was in church Sundays, Wednesdays, any day the doors are open. I served in junior church. Like I was as committed comes. And so, and I was very staunch in my beliefs. I was fundamental independent Baptist.
Did you, while you were a believer, did you ever have what a lot of Christians that I've spoken to have, they call like the personal experience, like a revelation? Did you ever have anything like that?
No, I didn't have that. Baptists are extremely conservative, and they, you know, they don't go that direction.
Okay.
with all that, but I felt like I could hear from God. Like, I guess now, I still hear the same stuff. I mean, as far as like, I hear my inner voice now. I'm like, okay,
Sure.
well, if God is all gone now and I still see circumstances play out, and two or threes, hearing things repetitively from different spots, I'm like, that wasn't God or the Holy Spirit that I thought it was. That was me all along. And so anyway,
Gosh, I'm smart.
right? So, I had left life group, or I left Sunday school in November. I left life group in February. And then I completely walked away from church in March. I told the band leader, I was like, I need to take a break and don't know when I'm going to be back. And I never went back. So
And that's like less than 6 months ago, really.
yeah. So the place, like, therapy's helped huge, and having our community on Twitter is huge, which Kayla Jo has not always been my name, but now it legally
I
is
know.
because of Twitter. So like, that's, all part of my deconversion story too. So like, having the community of everybody on Twitter and secret groups on Facebook is really what pulled me out of the deep darkness that I was in. Cause it was horrible. I was like, okay, now that Christianity is gone, I really have no purpose, no meaning, nothing left to live for, because everything that I was and thought I existed for is completely gone. And all my family and friends are still Christian. So who am I and what am I doing here and what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
So far from there now. I love life. It's good. And can't believe I'm here.
I often put links in my description box below. By the way, guys, I do have a link to Kayla's Twitter below if you want to follow her and get to know her a little bit. But I often put links down there to places like, or not often, every time, that are helpful for recently deconverted people like yourself that might still be struggling with issues like recovering from religion, the Secular Therapy Project, and the Clergy Project, which is obviously directed at ex-priests, ministers, that kind of thing. So I always recommend those kinds of things if people are still finding issues, right? So, but you seem like you've kind of skipped that. Like, were you angry at first when you came out? Like,
I didn't skip that at all.
Okay.
Like, I was very intense, and my husband kept accusing me of being hostile and angry, and I didn't think I was. But I don't know. He sees things different than I do. But no, I had some very, very hard times. I would come into my bedroom sometimes and I would just start crying and I wouldn't be able to stop. The tears would just pour down. And I'd be so angry and you couldn't be angry at anything, because you can't be angry at God if there wasn't a God. I'm like, is there even a divine? Is there something? Like, how did we get here? Being a Christian school kid too, I didn't mention that. I went to Christian school, preschool through 12th grade, and then I went to Fundamental Independent Baptist Bible College for 5 years. So I knew, like, I don't even remember what I was just talking about. Lost my train of thought. But I didn't. I don't know anything. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, you were talking earlier about telling your people at the church that you weren't going to be back, and
right.
And you weren't sure, and you still haven't been back, and that's kind of when I came in with my little questions there. But was there any backlash from any of your family members or anything like that?
Well, when I told my mom and dad, I told them over a text message, and because I didn't want to talk to them, because I get so tongue-tied and like my words just all get jumbled up in my head, and I was like, I don't want to have to answer their questions, because I don't have answers for their questions. I don't know anything anymore. And so I texted them and told them what had happened. And they were, disappointed. I said, I don't want to talk on the phone right now, but you can email me questions if you want to. And they didn't email me questions. And like, that kind of stopped communication for a while, until I contacted them again and said, okay, I'll talk on the phone to you. There was some passive aggressiveness in some of the text messages from my parents. But when we did talk on the phone.
That's normal.
Yeah. When we did talk on the phone, like a month and a half later, maybe, they were accusing me of running away from God, of being a prodigal. They told me God is going to get me good if I don't come back to him and come back to church. And yeah. And I was like, do you really think that God would deal with me that harshly? And my mom was like, oh yeah, he's going to get you good. If you don't come back to him, he will take care of you and get you. And I was just like, well, I don't want to serve that kind of God then, if he's really like that, which he is not even necessarily a he. So
kind of a dick.
right. And so he's not even real. And so I don't know. Like
He's
I don't
not
know.
a real dick.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So what about your husband? Is he atheist or is he still a believer?
He is still very much a believer, and he's walked through the room a couple times while I'm talking here. He knows I'm doing this podcast. He knows it's for you. And so he knows what we're talking about. And he's great because while he's still a strong Christian and we don't fight about him taking the kids to church. I won't take them to church, but I'm like, the kids are free to know. They know that I'm not a Christian now. They know that Dad is, and I want them to make their own choices.
Yes,
and
which is fair.
Right. And so like right now they have a choice if they're going to go to youth group in 5 minutes, and he's going to take a few of them. And last week, one of them didn't go. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I like that because they don't feel like I have to believe this because Mom and Dad believe it.
Right.
So I think they're safe. I think they're already brainwashed because I was, an avid follower, believer, trying to get them to just grasp onto Christ, and just know all the verses and know everything. So I kind of brainwashed them a little too much in the, however many years I had each one of them, but it's going to be okay. So
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
A couple of them might stay in a belief, but I think
theirs.
Yeah, it's for that. Yeah, it's for them to deal with, right?
Right.
It's their decision, and if they want to be a believer, that's fine.
Exactly.
You got to instill, I think, in kids that they don't. Well, not don't, but you shouldn't really run around trying to force these beliefs on people.
Right. Yeah, and I'm going to accept them either way. If I have a kid that's an atheist, a kid that's a strong Christian, like I'm going to accept them. That's the difference between me and my parents. Like, I don't know. There's not a relationship there. Like they're so sad that, I'm not following Christ and going to hell. And well, no, they don't necessarily think I'm going to hell because I did tell them, I was like, well, you believe once saved, always saved. So then I'm still a Christian and you don't have to worry about me. So that card didn't work though, as far as there being, very heartbroken. But, I've been there. So I understand exactly how heartbreaking it can be when somebody that you love has decided, I'm not going to do this, even though I don't feel like I did decide. I feel like it all just went away and I didn't have a choice.
Exactly. It isn't a choice. You lost your faith, we'll say, because you started asking questions and you started looking for reasonable answers to these questions. And that happens to a lot of people where it's just like a domino effect. It's just slowly, one at a time. You start making these realizations, right? For a lot of we'll say even fundamentalist folks, which I've spoken to a few, they would talk about how can the Bible be true if we have demonstrated that evolution is actually a fact, right? Or, those kind of things are what do it. Then the dominoes will topple one at a time once you start getting into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's not a choice. I think you just you lose your conviction of your belief.
And that's a hard thing to convince people of that have never been a Christian and then fallen away, because, well, that's not even really necessarily the word, fallen away, because we didn't fall away, like what the Bible considers us, because we didn't make a choice. But they don't understand I didn't choose this and you didn't choose this. They don't understand that, that it happens to us in a sense, from what we can understand.
Sure.
So,
I mean, I left the Jewish faith actually a long time ago, but then I got into all sorts of things like Wicca and other weird paganism sort of things, right? So I kind of have a little. I always thought it was more. I think I was more attracted to just how kind of cool it was, right? And I tried doing spells and stuff, and none of them really ever worked. So.
Oh, darn it. They work for some people.
Well, I think people convince themselves that they work.
Kind of like the God thing, right?
Right. I mean, like, I'll give you an example. I did a money spell one time where I took a silver dollar, because I used to be a coin collector. And I had a ceramic bowl, earthen ceramic bowl, and I filled it. I think the instructions were halfway with water. Then put the silver dollar in the center of the bowl and hold it out in your hand on a full moon and catch the image of the moon over the silver dollar, and then incant this weird thing a few times, and money will come into your life. And of course, the day before, I had put an ad in the paper to sell my VCR, and lo and behold, $75 was in my hand after I sold the VCR. But some people would take that and make it the causation, but it's
right.
Not really, right?
Well, that's kind of like God in answers to prayer, and how God can get the credit. No matter when or how, and there's always a reason and an excuse and a pass.
Yeah, exactly. And I did say VCR, people. Yes, I'm that old. Yes.
Hey, we had VCRs when I was a kid too. So
I had a Betamax, for crying out loud, because my dad thought that was going to be the winning format. Well, yeah, a few months later, he's like, shit, I should have got a VHS machine.
I don't even know what a Betamax is.
They're like VHS tapes, but they're smaller. And they're better they're actually better quality.
Oh, okay.
Right. But they took off in the East, but over in the West, of course, ultimately it's the porn industry that decides the format. So VHS won out over Beta because of the porn industry.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
I think the same thing happened when it was the big battle between Blu-ray and CD or DVD HDs. You don't see DVD HDs anymore, so Blu-ray won that battle.
Yeah. Yep.
Were you ever around for video discs? The gigantic record-looking ones?
Holy cow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those were the first digital format movies, and they were huge. It was like having an album collection again.
It's funny to see how technology changes over time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now nobody even buys CDs anymore or DVDs anymore, because everything's all digital. You just buy it online, right?
It's so nice. I like it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And even if I do want to buy, because you can still buy these formats. But I'll do it online. I don't need to go to a DVD store anymore, right?
Right. Do those exist anymore?
They do. They do. I actually have a few kicking around here somewhere. Probably all the, I think the last one I bought was the original Avengers movie in 2012.
Oh, wow.
On Blu-ray. So, yeah, that's the last one that I bought. And then a few were, back in those days, a few were given to me for my birthday, like the Batman trilogy, the Chris Nolan trilogy, right? And stuff like that.
My husband randomly comes home with them from Walmart if it's one he wants to keep. I'm like, no, this is just taking up space.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need this. You can just watch this shit online now.
Right? And when are you really going to watch it anyway?
Exactly. You remember that old song, was it Video Killed the Radio Star? Well, I think they need to re-update that to Netflix Killed the Video Star.
Oh, no, I don't know that song, because I grew up with music so conservative. Like, our churches we could only have piano music and organ music. So classical, classical music had a pass because it was educational or something.
Or something.
Yes, I don't know exactly why it had the pass, because it didn't have syncopated rhythm. So
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't know any. Like, I listened to all Christian music, and so when I lost my faith in January, I'm like, I don't have any music to listen to at all. So I've had to slowly rebuild that. One day my husband came into the bedroom. I had some music playing in my bedroom. He's like, your music style has changed. I'm like, yeah, it has. So
weird how that happens.
Right?
Little Pantera going on in the background.
Oh,
what happened to the Michael Smith?
Well, right? He used to always make fun of him, though, anyway, because while he likes Christian music, he also likes secular music, and he just turns everything into a parody. So that used to always make me mad as a Christian, because I was what I thought the stronger one in the relationship, and the more spiritual one, because I listen to more Christian music. It's how you're taught. So
that's a telltale one, right?
Right. So my music's more in line with his now, except for it's gone a lot farther down.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, but I
A
have
lot
a
farther
teenager.
down.
I have a teenager though who has she's adopted. She came here to live with us from foster care like 2.5 years ago, and so I've just adopted her music. I'm like, okay, I'll listen to this with you. So that worked out well.
What is she into?
Anything country and sexy
Okay.
and whatever.
Country and sexy.
Yeah. So. Yep.
Wait a minute. So when I think of sexy music, the first thing that goes through my head is that wow wow.
Okay,
You know,
no, not like that, not like that. Like they're always making out in the country songs. That's all they do. So.
Of course.
Right.
What else do you do when you're out of beer and your truck doesn't run? Right.
Exactly. Yes.
Hop in the back and make out.
That's right. On the back road.
Come on, dear. Let's go make some more country bumpkins.
I have my oldest to thank for all that. Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh,
yeah.
Listen, guys, in the chat there, we got a few people in the chat there. If you guys have any questions you want to pop out at Kayla Jo here, just tag me in it and I'll read them off for you. Anyways, best names. Oh, Kristen's leaving. Okay. Well, she is in freaking like Europe somewhere. So I can't remember. So
yeah, it's late there. Yeah.
She tries to stay up for as long as she can, so, which is awesome. One of my diehard fans.
Nice. I wonder what time it is there. Middle of the night.
I would say probably after midnight. Anyways, for sure.
Yeah.
Separation of church and tape. No, Billy. That's not how it works. Church and state. What do they say now? Religion and government. They don't even use church and state anymore. So. Did you ever stumble upon any videos that might have helped you along out of your belief into atheism, like any of the Atheist Experience channels or?
No videos, lots of podcasts. So
what about Seth Andrews?
No, I haven't heard of him. Mindshift podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I found him. David Hayward helped a lot with his, he's not a podcast, but his cartoons. And Clint and David both private messaged me on Twitter, and we had long conversations at the beginning that really helped me to know that I was okay and I wasn't going to die and I wasn't going to hell. And so, I mean, there's probably others I forgot to mention, but on Twitter, his name was Atheist Husker, and he was there for me a lot too. So our online community is just amazing, but no videos, podcasts, and
Atheist Husker, his name's Nathaniel, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've had him and his wife on the show, and I've been on their show. So, and Mindshift podcast, he's an awesome guy too. He came up here to visit me. And we went for some beers and we had a great big breakfast at the pub and all kinds of stuff. Fun.
Yeah. Are you going to Janice Selby's conference in April?
Where is it?
Crap, I just forgot. I don't know. She lives in Canada. I don't remember.
Wait a second. It's here? It might be here.
It's in Canada.
Well, I'm in Canada. I'm in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's where it's at, I think.
I think my friend Vikram has mentioned that actually, and we might actually go to it.
Yeah, she's helped me a lot too. So I'm gonna have to find a way to go so that I can meet y'all and hang out and do lunch and.
Oh, absolutely! If you make it up here, for sure.
Yeah.
Also in December, Vikram and I are hosting through the Atheist Republic. We're hosting a comedy hour with 3 atheist or agnostic comedians, which should be pretty fun.
That should be fun. That should be really good.
We're trying to get 100 people to go. So that's going to be a challenge, but it'll be at Yuck Yucks here in Vancouver.
Oh, cool.
Should be a lot of fun. I mean, if we can't get the ticket sales, we'll have to rearrange it somehow at another venue and just whatever gets to be sold, we'll just go.
Right. Well, I hope that goes well for you. I'm sure that'll be great.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Armin will be back by then. He released a photo a couple of days back, I think, or maybe even a week now, where they were in Europe and they're in Germany, I think, and they were standing on the monument for the Holocaust monument, right? Taking pictures. Many people do it. And there's a lot of people that are like, holy crap, that's disrespectful. And I'm an ex-Jew. And I thought to myself, well, I could see it being viewed that way, but they're not the actual graves of the people.
Right.
So there's that to consider. And I could see how people would consider it to be disrespectful, but I told them, I even lost 4 family members in that, in the Holocaust. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, they were all on my mom's side way back. So, I said, I didn't really take much offense as long as you understand what it is you're on and understand what it means. And I mean, if there were graves there, then I might say, dude, you might not want to do that, because that to me would be disrespectful.
Right. Yeah, I found that, the looser you hold things, that's another thing I was taught in therapy, like hold things loosely. And the looser you hold things and the just more freedom you give other people for their expression, realizing, people aren't necessarily out to hurt you or anybody. And,
that's right.
Just makes your life a whole lot easier because you quit stressing out inside. And
sure.
Yeah.
So back into the deconversion. Do you plan on starting maybe a YouTube channel?
I would love to. My thing is like just finding stuff to talk about, like, because I have so many thoughts going through my head. I'm like, I don't know how to organize them all. So I don't know. If somebody knew how to help me get started or whatever, I don't know.
I know people.
It'd be awesome. I'd love to start a YouTube channel.
I would highly recommend it. And I think one of the best things you can do is tell your story, your journey, and stuff like that. And maybe do, invite others that you may know, or people that you meet that are like fence sitters. They're having doubts. Yeah. And they could do like Q&A videos, and they can ask you questions and how you dealt with certain issues and stuff like that. And that might actually help other people. That's kind of why I do these, because I hope that somewhere someone will stumble upon one of these videos and go, holy cow, I'm going through exactly this right now. This is great information for me to take in, to understand how to deal with losing faith, because it's not easy to deal with. A lot of people get, like you said, when you started, you were like depressed a bit and you kind of didn't really know where to go with it. And
identity crisis, big time.
It is. Yeah. It is, because as weird as it sounds, having faith like that becomes part of your identity. Yeah. And that's why I find when I'm having not so much debates, but conversations with believers, you say something just slightly wrong and it's a quick offense like that.
Very quickly, yes.
And I have to remind them, I said, listen, dude, we're talking, I respect you as a person. People always deserve respect until they give you a reason not to. Your beliefs are merely ideas, and ideas don't necessarily always deserve respect. So understand that I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm disrespecting a belief system that I find fallacious and possibly harmful to people. So
yeah, well, it was harmful to me.
Right.
And you and so many others. Yeah, I'm going to college right now. I'm in grad school to be a counselor. And so excellent. I am so excited because I can only imagine the ways that I'm going to be able to, help people when I'm done.
That's an idea for your channel. When you're done, start up and talk to people that are fence sitters and have these discussions with them and tell them your story and help them through if you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's 2 years away. So need to find something to do before then. I don't want to wait 2 years.
There's somebody in the chat named, you don't want to wait 2 years. No, I hear you. You can get practice in now. So
Right. Yeah, that works.
Someone in the chat named Sarah Sanchez.
That's my cousin. Hey, Sarah.
It says, at Kayla Jo, your favorite cousin loves you.
Oh, I love you too. Sarah and I have such, oh my goodness, it's going to make me cry.
Wait.
I want to tell too much of her story.
Here you go.
Oh, thanks. So she came to live with me when she was, I don't remember, late teens, early 20s, from Michigan to Texas. And I was such a staunch, crazy Christian then. And I cracked down so hard on her, and I was such a bitch. And oh my word, I was. And when all this fell away and came around, I messaged her and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. And she has just been there for me, like, whenever I need her. And so she's just amazing and so forgiving, an amazing person. Yeah, her and her sister Marissa too. They're incredible. And my parents have said and done some things to them from their Christianity that just, my parents meant well. They loved them, but it was things that hurt them because it was very, not Christian, not Jesus-like type of thing. So anyway, yeah, I love
Jesus
them.
light.
Not Jesus-like, like,
I
mean,
thought,
Jesus,
I thought
Jesus
there's
is
a new
always
beer or something. Try the
Jesus,
new Jesus light.
right. Well, maybe that's what it was, but just things, or I guess it was more like things trying to control them, not letting them be adults, and
Sure.
thinking they had to micromanage them. But yeah, so.
Well, there you go. At least at least one of your cousins loves you.
Yeah. I have awesome cousins, actually. They're all great. Do you want me to talk about my name change?
Yeah, actually, I mean, if you're claiming that this is part of your deconversion,
This
then
is completely
fill us in.
deconversion.
Fill
My
us in
mom
on
and
this.
dad still do not know that I changed my name.
Uh-oh.
So my name used to be Kimberly, and
That's how I knew you, because we're in groups together on Facebook.
yeah, we are. Yep. And so in January, when everything fell away, I made a fake Twitter account because I was like, I've got to find my people. I don't. It's like I couldn't put stuff out on Facebook, because I had like 700 to 800 friends that were all very Christian.
Ooh.
And so my Kimberly Jean, I took the initials KJ and I made a Twitter account under Kayla Jo. I was like, that's a cute name. I'll take that. And so I got to know people. I got, a little over 150 followers and talked to Clint and Janice, and I met you on there and other people. And so like, as they were talking back and forth with me, it would be like Kayla this and Kayla that. And I was in counseling one day and I told my therapist, I was like, I realized the other day that I am identifying as a totally different person. I like have another half and I'm not schizophrenic. And so because Kimberly was a Christian for 37 years and then comes this Kayla Jo and she's got this whole different crowd of friends. Like I was leading two different lives. And so I didn't want to go back to Kimberly. Well, I kind of did because, you want what you know, but I also knew that I couldn't. It was impossible because you can't take back what fell away without a choice and what you can't believe in anymore. So it came to be June and I was like, I am such a Kayla Jo. And so I was like, if I still want to be Kayla Jo by the end of June, then I'm going to apply for a name change. And so on my driver's license now, as of August 2nd, it says Michaela Jo instead of Kimberly Jean. And yeah, it's completely because I am no longer, I can't identify as Kimberly. And it's crazy, it's weird, but it's empowering. Like when I changed my name, I just I don't know. It was like, bam.
Charge?
Yeah, it did. And every time
new person.
Yes, it does. And every time I don't know if that's part of what made it, better for me and gave me more peace. But the last couple of months, it's just been like, I am Michaela. And Michaela is this person that she doesn't have to know everything. And she's okay with that. And I want to help people. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're never going to know everything.
No, but I thought I would as a Christian. I had to have all the answers every week in therapy. I was being told, you don't have to have all the answers. I'm like, yes, I do.
I mean, I can't go through life not knowing things.
Right.
But, the truth is, we probably don't even know 0.0000001% of all the things we could possibly know.
Yeah,
right?
It's crazy.
I know, it's weird. I was going to say something else now, and I forgot what it was.
I feel your pain. I do that all the time. Mid-sentence.
Don't get old, people. It sucks.
Right?
You end up sounding like this and going, oh, my back or my feet. Yeah. Well, it's this expression that my dad taught me that I quite like. Yeah, I'm not answering that. Fuck you. It's one of those scam calls. Anyways,
I get those all the time. I don't know how many times a day.
Now the one is the one I got today, and I was talking to the guy because I like fucking with these clowns, and he goes, "Oh yeah, it's a pre-recorded thing first, right?
Yeah.
Your social insurance number has been compromised, and we need you to talk to one of our agents to figure out, blah 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 blah." So the agent comes on, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" He's like, he's like really timid. He's like, and I hear, of course, I hear the Indian accent, right? Oh, well, this, and I'm like, dude, there's some guy in behind you or around you that's really loud and I can't understand you. Click. And he just hung up on me, right?
That's funny. I would love to be a fly on the wall on his end, seeing what's going through his head or what the expression on his face is.
There's actually a video going around that I saw on Facebook of a police officer somewhere down in the States where somebody tried something very similar to them, right? And she's she's asking them all these questions, and finally, I guess they figure it out or something because they hung up on her. Right?
Yeah, that was good. She dragged him along for a long time.
Yeah, which I thought was brilliant.
Right, and way to record it.
And I think probably one of my favorite. You know how I used to get what do you call it? Telemarketers phoning you. Right, all the time, right. I love the Seinfeld episode where he does it. Well, tell you what, why don't you give me your number and I'll call you back when I'm done, and then we can talk. I don't want anyone phoning me at home. Well, now you know how I feel. Click.
Right.
Brilliant.
That's fun. Anything to make you laugh, it's good.
Absolutely, man. Laughter is the best medicine, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh. Crying out loud, Calvin. Go away, man. I'm a chemist too, and there is no God. Okay, so go ahead. You found the God. I think he means the God particle that they dubbed it, which is the Higgs boson. It's not really a thing, Calvin. Go away.
It's funny.
He's been leaving comments and shit on my videos now for weeks, and I'm like, dude, if you're not into this stuff, then go away. Yeah, you're not going to convert anyone back. You're not going to change anyone's mind. See. Calvin, what you don't realize is most of the people that read the books, like the Old Testament and the New Testament, they become atheists because they read them.
This is true.
And they see the nonsense.
And if you can't see the nonsense, Christian school.
Right? He's a chemist too. I'm a chemist too. I actually work for an environmental company as a chemical analyst. So that's what I do for a living.
That's too much for my brain.
Oh, it's great fun.
Like you.
Great fun, man. I love to play with the gas chromatography or the ICP machine, which is ductively compulsed plasma. That machine is really cool because you can basically find elements, because every element that we know of falls somewhere on the light spectrum. So you can find what elements you have. Like I test like waste oil, we'll say, that's in your engines. So I'm looking for stuff like vanadium, yttrium, barium, all kinds of things in these samples. And when you look at it and you get the final photo, it'll show you where they land, and you can dial it. You can make it bigger or smaller. And when you put it at the certain, it's like you're looking through a telescope. It's the craziest.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like you're looking into space. It's kind of why I chose this background for my channel.
I like your background. Yeah, it's
galaxy,
cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me put it this way there, Calvin. If God was real, he wouldn't need dickheads like you going around trying to prove that he was real.
That's really not love when people try to.
He's probably not a dickhead. I'm just being a dickhead myself.
I love how Ken Ham, the creation science guy who built the Ark in the United States, he's always bashing atheists. And I'm like, you almost look at them from, I don't know, you feel bad for them because they're bashing us, but they don't understand that the things that they're throwing at us, you can tell they don't understand us. And so, because they make comments that just, I don't know, you can tell they don't understand. I can't think of one that he made right now, but I was just like, no, we're not running from God. We're not, yeah.
I get it. Now Calvin wants to know how to join the atheist religion. Okay, I hear this a lot from believers. They think atheism is like a religion. It isn't. All atheism is. Yeah. All atheism is a non-belief in deities. Right. That's it. It means nothing else. We don't buy it. We don't believe it. We're unconvinced by the evidence. So, yeah, it's not a religion. Calvin.
Right.
That's like saying the Boy Scouts are a religion. Just
they're not. They're not. My son was going to join them Monday. Crap. He really is. He's joining Boy Scouts on Monday, or Cub Scouts. He's not old enough.
Cub Scouts. I was a Cub Scout.
Yeah.
Until they kicked me out.
Oh no.
I was a shithead back then.
Too much of a rebel.
Duke Bonanza, one of my best friends ever, is in the chat now, and he's telling Calvin because Calvin asked, how do you join the atheist religion? Duke's like, you must first eat a baby.
I must have got a pass on that one because I didn't eat my baby.
No. I do like baby back ribs, but they don't come from actual babies, so it's okay.
Right. It's good to know because I like them too.
See, I'm being raised as a Jew, we had the whole kashrut law, right? So everything we ate had to be kosher, and pork wasn't kosher. And I'm like, fuck this. This is reason number one. I don't want to be a Jew anymore because I love bacon. And I love back ribs.
Bacon's good.
I know.
If there's a heaven, there's bacon in heaven. But
there
I
has
don't
to
think
be.
there is a heaven.
And I bet you it's heavenly. Best bacon I've ever had. When I was over in Europe, I had what they call a smoked bacon. It was like it was in Germany, and it was like a European smoked bacon. And oh my God, I think I saw it somewhere here in like a delicatessen somewhere, and it's so good. It's like, you think bacon is good? Try the European smoked bacon.
And it's amazing.
I had to put my socks back on. Let's put it that way. It knocked my socks off.
Oh my goodness. Nice fun.
Bacon is fire. Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. Oh, don't feed the trolls, Sassy. Come on. By the way, Angie Dell, another friend of mine in the chat, said that your story is very, very similar to hers. And I've actually had Angie on my channel. Do Dutch babies count? Sure, any babies do. Hans P. Hansen. Do you think he's Dutch?
Oh my goodness.
Welcome, Hans. These are people that are generally in most of these chats. Oh, and Grumpy Old Dave showed up. He's one of my favorites because he's got a picture. His avatar is a glass of beer, and I like that.
Oh, nice. You have fun people.
Really, really do. And if there's room in my group, Kayla, I'll add you to it.
Okay, cool.
Because a lot of these people are in my group.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. You know, that's one thing that I found on this side of religion is I found more acceptance on Twitter among atheists and agnostics than I did in the Christian group. Like, I could say anything, any belief, any unbelief, and I was fully accepted. They held space for me, everything. But you take your struggles or your doubts to the Christian group and they want to steer you back to where they are. And so it's a whole different ball game. And I'm like, if Christianity was real, atheists are more Christian than Christians are Christian, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Anyway. Yeah. So the thing about the difference here is, I don't even. Holy crap! That's just rude, man. Holy cow! There's someone in the chat called, "You have 50 chromosomes." I want to suck Jesus' dick while nailed to a cross. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Sounds like an interesting Halloween evening, I guess. But anyway,
each his own.
Yeah. What was I going to say? See, Christianity stays the same. Well, everyone, the scientific world, everyone else that's not in it adapts and changes over time. Christianity can't do that, or else it loses a hold on things, right?
Yeah.
That's why you've got people that still think the Earth is only 6,000 whatever years old.
I did until last year or two.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have tons of evidence that says otherwise.
Right.
But they say, oh, well, the dating techniques. Oh, carbon dating doesn't work. I go, well, not on rocks, you moron. It only works on organic material, and you can really only go back maybe 50, 60,000 years with the carbon-14 dating anyway.
So that doesn't help at all.
No.
Yeah. We can't know. Like, my husband, even though he's a Christian and follows the Bible still, he will tell you, God could have used evolution. So he's got, freedom in his beliefs as far as all that goes. I don't think his people know that. But yeah. I
tend to go where the evidence points.
Mm-hmm.
And none of it points to the garbage you see written in the book. Like, there's no global flood. Like, you could even use dendrochronology to prove that.
Well, and there's other religions before Christianity that had floods and everything too. There's so much in the Bible that comes from other religious practices before, the Bible was even written and stuff. So it's just mythology.
Of course it is. That's what it's like, why is this true? But every other book or volume or text on any of the other religions that came long before yours, why is that not true, but yours suddenly is true?
Right. So, and then they claim the prophecies that all came true from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Well, man
Sure.
put the Bible together. And who was the guy, because I'm really bad at history, that, he wanted to make Christianity the official religion. Well, people had no choice. They had to.
Constantine.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it wrong.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know, Christianity was forced for a time because it was to somebody's advantage. And so it took hold, and people are under illusion.
Yeah. Well, I saw a very funny expression. This is going back a few years now. Man invented gods.
Mm-hmm.
Then, once man realized that people were following gods, they figured out they could make religion to control those people that follow the gods.
I've heard that. Yeah. Well, it's working.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Not for this girl.
Billions believe in this stuff.
Right.
And you hear that as one of their excuses. Well, why would so many people believe it if it wasn't true? Because
which pill did you take, the red pill or the blue pill?
That's called argumentum ad popularum or something like that. And it's another fallacy.
Yeah.
I think we scared Calvin away. He hasn't said much.
He'll be back.
or my moderators keep silencing him.
This is possible too.
Guys, Casey goes, new atheists make me smile. Aw. Yeah, you're making Randy smile.
Oh, thank you. Good.
He left the live chat. Did Calvin leave the live chat? Oh, Calvin, I'm sorry, buddy.
Aw.
I've had words with him a couple of times in my comment sections after the videos, of course. But,
oh, gotcha. Calvin, we still like you. We accept you.
Yeah. I'll eat Calvin's soul. Dude.
I'm not going into Satanism.
No such thing as soul. Satanism isn't what people think it is, though, right? Like the Satanic Church is actually a humanist-based organization.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything about it. I was just talking.
They don't think Satan's real.
I did not know that. No.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about it other than, as a Christian, it was bad. So.
Oh, look, do some research on it. There's what's the hell's the guy's name now that just I can't remember all of a sudden. I'm talking like the modern day type Satanism. You had the LaVeyan, like Anton LaVey, who wrote I think the Satanic Bible, or was that him that wrote the Satanic Bible? Anyway, the newer aged Satanic Church and stuff like Church of Satan is all about humanism. It's not about worshiping devils and stuff. Like that, because they're all atheists and they don't believe in that.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Humanism, though, in the churches I was from was so bad. Like,
really? Yeah. Why would you want to help your fellow humans?
Well, because, you're not worshiping God if you're, focused on human stuff. And so I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, humanism was always talked bad about. I didn't know anything about it at all until recently about what it really was.
Right.
So yeah. And it's amazing. Like, people are amazing people. People are good.
Sure.
And
I think we want to be naturally.
Yeah. Some of us fall off, the good part and, do things that hurt other people, but we're all born, I think, with the intent of, being good, and hurt happens, trauma happens, and people get screwed up. I don't know. It's just my thoughts right now. They might change tomorrow. And I have freedom to do that.
Nathaniel has popped into the chat under the
Nathaniel.
Divine Disbelief moniker, of course. And he says it's so exciting to see Kayla.
Aw, thanks. Thanks for coming.
A lot of people are showing up. And I think, you know what, guys? I think Calvin keeps changing his name. Now he's in here as Please End Your Life.
Calvin, I wanted to while I was a Christian, but now that I am not, I really have a lot to live for.
Yeah, exactly. Because now you realize that this is the one life you get.
Right, exactly. And why would a Christian...
Why would you prepare for something you're unsure of?
Exactly. And Calvin, if you're a Christian, why would you want me to end my life if I'm going to hell? I don't think Jesus would want that.
Yeah, no, that's not very Christian.
No, but I'm okay.
I'm thinking it's Calvin because he keeps changing his name and coming back with ridiculous statements like I love Jesus for his cock or whatever, stuff like that, right? So, yeah, real mature, Calvin. But let him have his fun. Let him get it out of his system. It's all good. Yep. Tell Kayla that I wish her the best, and I'm still new to not being a Christian as well. That's my friend, Miss Sassy.
Well, you can message me if you want. We can talk.
Yeah, I highly recommend you do that, Sassy. Sassy's been going through a bit of a rough time. She's been dealing with a little bit of depression, and no, it's not Calvin. I even spelt it with a K just to prove his point.
Oh my goodness. Sassy,
I wasn't referring to Calvin Klein. All right. So
see, I'm thinking Calvin as in Calvinism.
yes, CALV. Yeah, Calvinism.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sassy, I had depression, if you didn't hear earlier, for like 2 years intensely, and suicidal ideation all day long on most days. And after I left religion, it was intense for a long time, but it's gone now. Like most days, most of the time, like I want to be alive, and it gets better. But talking to people helps a lot. Like that's how you're going to get through this. So
that's why I think you two should hook up, maybe to talk a little bit.
Definitely, I'd love to.
Because Sassy's fucking awesome. She's got to be one of the cheeriest, bubbliest, people that I know.
Aww.
Yeah, she is. And she's really easy to make laugh.
Aw, that's fun. That's fun. Cheerful, bubbly people can be hurting like hell on the inside, though.
Of course.
So, Sassy, I get you.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Matthew Randall, I have arrived. Matthew, nobody cares, man. I'm kidding. Matthew's a good buddy of mine, too. He's a truck driver.
Nice. Hey.
He drives a big rig.
I
said rig. Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of hoping maybe he's got these faces all over there now. I'm kind of hoping he actually gets up near my way.
Oh, fun. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes, Sassy's no longer on Twitter. She kind of had enough of that negative bullshit because there's there's some few things going on right now in the Twitterverse with in regards to other YouTubers and stuff that is just all negativity. We're trying to sift through it, and they had the whole the whole Essence of Thought deal, the whole non sequitur show deal. A lot of negativity flying around on those corners. Sassy, she is
my email.
Okay. If you look up to, let's see, your right, you'll see a bar there that says live comments. Right. You can enter there and then pop your email in there.
Oh, there's everything you've been reading. I had no idea. I was like, I can't see that. What color is this? Let's see. Now I got to find how to get to the bottom of that. Where can I?
Down below there should. Oh, can you not comment?
No, I can't comment.
Okay, well, grab a pen, Sassy, and you can just blurt it out for her, or you can give it to me through Twitter, and I'll pass it through to her because
there's a thing that says private chat with host and other guests, but that's not where the live comments are. I bet that's it. Let me try.
No, that's you'll only send me a message.
Oh, okay.
Through the private chat.
I'll say it right now. It's fine. If I get spam, then whatever. It'll mean you love me.
You probably won't. You might get Calvin trying to reconvert you back to Christian.
Well, Calvin and I will have some fun. Bring it, Calvin. All right. You're messing with the wrong person. Let's see. KJMC at no, just a second. KJMC0223 at gmail.com.
Sorry, my friend Wolford Strongbeard just showed up in the chat and he went, "Ow!" So I had to type "Werewolves of London."
I can read it now that I know that it's there.
Bob Smith. Bob Smith, huh? If that's your real name.
Calvin Smith.
No. Bob's not Calvin.
KJMC0223 at gmail.com, Sassy.
Is she still in the chat?
Yeah, she asked me to repeat it.
Oh, okay. You want me to type it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Is it?
It doesn't matter what case it is. KJ as in Kayla Jo. M.
KJ. M. Yeah.
C as in cat. 0223 at gmail.com.
There you go, Sassy. It's in there. I typed it in there for you.
You're welcome.
All right. Please end your life. Dude, really? This isn't the place for this kind of shit, dude. You need to be posting these kinds of comments on old Jenna Jameson videos or something. I was reading the news today about celebrities that have passed on, and some other porn starlet passed away at 43.
Oh, that's young.
Yeah. I was like, holy crap.
You know what the Christians would say about that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I
Following
do.
Jesus.
A, that you die young if you're a sinner and you're going to hell.
Yep.
Because for some reason, an omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, omnibenevolent being has sexual issues. Like, what? Why would he even care? I mean, when you're that kind of a being, you'd be like, I don't give a fuck who you're screwing. Who cares?
Right. The more that you just think about it, it's just like, oh my goodness, why? How did I even? How's I even there?
But it is echoes of primitive man's mind, is what it is. That's why they said, kill all the animals, kill all the people, kill all the Amalekites, but the young girls that haven't been with a man yet, you can keep them as your own little sex slaves.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, because that's cool. What? Yeah. Anyway, we are closing on the hour. And isn't it weird? Time just goes boop when you're having
so fast.
Right?
Yeah.
And I remember we're chit-chatting mostly about your deconversion in the beginning, which really only, I think of all of this conversation, might be 20 minutes. I like to ask questions, and I like to get to know a little bit more about other things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I do always, we'll say 99% of the time, I do something that I call an after party.
Mm-hmm.
You're under no obligation to be there, but it's always fun to come in for a few minutes anyways, just to say hi to some of my friends that will soon be your friends, because they're really good.
I would love to. Yeah.
I usually take that'll go for about an hour as well. So if you've got some time to spare,
I do.
Awesome, Kayla. That'd be so cool if you did that.
Sounds fun.
All right, guys, you know what to do. If you guys want to join me for the after party, I will post a link in my group. And if you're not in my group and you do want to jump in, just let me know, either through Twitter or Facebook. Because I know some people may not actually be on Twitter. And I'll get you a join link. But remember, we only have room for 4 people other than Kayla and myself, because StreamYard has a limitation to how many people you can do it, unlike Google Hangouts, where you can put like 1 billion people in there. Looks like somebody keeps making new accounts.
That's so weird.
Now it's yourself, and you said,
who has time for that?
Anyways, so Duke says he'll be in there. Matthew is going to join us as well, which are 2 of my favorite people.
Cool.
Well, you know what? I have too many favorite people.
Oh no.
Yourself. Can I come? I mean, come.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, you're funny. I'll give you that. I don't really know you, so I'm gonna have to say no, because you probably don't know how to get a hold of me otherwise than here. Unless you're somebody I do know and you're just fucking with me right now.
Which is possible, I'm sure.
Absolutely possible. Some of my friends, I wouldn't put it past them. All right, Kayla, well, I got to say thank you very, very, very much for chatting with me today.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Grumpy old Dave, you're always driving when I do my after parties, Dave. You can just put it on one of them little clip things and talk to us while you're driving. I wouldn't recommend that, though.
Do you have to send me another link for the after party, or how does this work?
Yes.
Okay.
I will shut this one down, and I'll give you a new one. I'm going to go have a quick cigarette, and I got to pee because I'm already 2 in. So,
all right.
We only rent beer.
See you later.
All right. So I will send you a fresh new link in a few minutes. Until then, guys, once again, Kayla, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone in the chat for joining us today. I hope you guys had a good time. It was your mother dude, you're not my mother. My mother's in Africa right now looking at gorillas. Her and her boyfriend went over to Africa. Actually, she should be home in a couple of days. So then she's going to be bugging me to go out for dinner. I'm like, okay, if you pay.
There you go. That's what mom's there for.
Yeah. Actually, I always pay because I always take her out for sushi and stuff.
Oh, you're sweet.
Anyways, well, hey, she supported me my whole life, right? When I was younger.
Right? Yeah, she was kind of under obligation.
Yeah. So I don't look at it as obligation. I just look at it as now I have a chance to pay her back for all her.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm just messing around. I'm sure she loves you.
She's awesome. Anyways, guys, until next time, like I always say at the end of these things, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.